Hello, wonderful parents of the students of Vancouver Talmud Torah. My name is Alex Gillis, and I'm the head of educator success here at the Simbi online reading platform based just down the road at Robson Square. I know these are very challenging times, so I hope that you and your families are healthy and well. And today we just wanted to provide a little bit of a quick overview of the Simbi online reading platform that the grade 5 and kindergarten students at VTT are already using, and how you can get your child set up and reading at home. I know that many of us are also celebrating Pesach break during this time, and I'd love to invite you and your family to make a global impact reading from the comfort of your own home while keeping your child's reading progress on track as if they were just at school, continuing right from where they left off. So with Simbi, they're able to read books and also share their voice, adding it to our global library to help other children learn how to read and improve their literacy across more than 47 countries. So the first thing we're going to do is head on over to Simbi at sim.bi/read. So that's sim.b/read. And when they get there, they'll be greeted by the Let's Get Started page if they don't already have an account. If they do, and if they've been using it, that's no worries. Either way, whether they're signing up for the first time or they're signing in just as if they were at school, they're just going to click on the Google button down here. So when you click on the Google button, they'll be asked to enter their information. So this is their school VTT Google account. So this is typically the student name at students.talmudtorah.com. And then they'd be able to click Next to enter their... Great. So once they're signed in, they'll be greeted by their personalized reading journey. And they'll be asked a few questions on how to get started. So in this case, for the first question, how will they use Simbi? We'll click on the little floating bubble and we'll select Learner. It should have already pulled in their first name from their Google account. However, if it's not displaying correctly, you can always tap on this box in order to change it or update it. This is the name that your child's teacher will be able to see. So they want to make sure that it's something that's recognizable and aligns with what their name is on the class list. The next step is the most exciting one. They actually get to choose their avatar. So in this case, I'll go with Simbi Potter to get started. And as they earn more Simbi stars and points for reading stories on the platform, they'll unlock more and more avatars as they go. In this case, we're also selecting what grade the learner is in. We can say that I'm in grade 3. And from there, we're asked about our accent type. I personally identify as a Canadian English speaker. So what we can do is we can click into the list. I know it looks a little bit daunting, but don't worry, you only have to do this the once. And we can click on English Canada, and we can also share that we live in Canada as well. So in this particular situation, why we're answering these questions is because we do want to help others learn on the platform, which is exactly what step 8 is asking here. Would we like to help others? By clicking into this one, you can learn a little bit about Simbi's Read for Good component, where we've partnered with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to empower learners across the world, even in refugee settlements, to learn with Simbi for free. So in this case, we can click yes and opt into that. However, if you decide not to at any time, you can click no thanks. The decision is completely up to you and your learner, and may be revoked at any time if you choose. The important thing to know here is that no matter what they choose, whether to help the global library or hold off for now, their voice will be shared directly with their teacher at VTT so that they're able to keep participating in class assignments and homework. So in this case, I'll opt in, and we're asked to do a very small, quick voice practice. So all we have to do is click on the box, and you'll notice up here in the top left, it asks for Simbi to allow for microphone access on your computer. It will also do something similar if you're joining us from a mobile phone or tablet, but the most important thing here is you do want to be clicking allow. If you don't click allow, Simbi just won't work, so you'll need to restart the process again, but it's okay. Either way, you just want to click allow. If you accidentally miss that step, you can always refresh the page and it should ask you to click allow again. So having clicked allow, now the microphone button turns orange, which means it's active, and I can read the little passage to make sure that the microphone is indeed recording into Simbi properly. It will give me a countdown. Hi Alex, Simbi is so happy to meet you. We can't wait to get you going on your reading journey. And all you have to do is click stop, and perfect, it looked like it recorded everything properly. So now that we're ready to go, Simbi's already suggesting some books for me. A lot of these do align with the global stewardship values within the BC core competencies within the curriculum. So in this case, the book called A Cloud of Trash is actually a wonderful story about a girl living in India who happens to use recycling in an innovative manner to further kind of build up her community and along the way. So this is just one of the exciting books in the Simbi platform, and this is what's called a read-along. So when you click into this one, you'll be presented with this story on the screen, very much like an ebook. One thing you'll notice right off the bat is that our books come with a highlighter. And this highlighter is something that we're very proud of and helps keep learners' attention to the stories that they're reading to further improve their comprehension and reading fluency as they go. In this case, we can listen to a fluent narrator read the book along to us. One thing you'll notice about the Simbi platform is that every book comes with a highlighter. This highlighter helps to keep your child's attention on the book that they're reading to improve their fluency and comprehension of the text. When we click play, you'll see the highlighter follow along the words as the professional narrator's voice reads it to them.
Chico was the unhappiest girl among her friends.
Now I promise you, Chico does become happy by the end of the story, and your child would keep reading along to the story and get to the end of it. Having completed the book, your child is able to rate the audio quality. They're able to share how enjoyable the book was for them, and share if it was easy enough to read or if it was a little bit too difficult for them. What we can see below is they're asked what they'd like to do next on the platform. They can continue their journey and see what Simbi is suggesting next, which would be to actually read this book aloud and try practicing it with their own voice, narrating the book themselves, or return to their journey and see what else they can do. In this case, I'll share a little bit about what the read aloud process looks like and what it means to narrate a book on Simbi. So we'll do that just by clicking the Continue Your Journey button. Once the pages load in, we'll be able to see a microphone down below, as well as a settings cog. If your child wants a little more guidance as they read the book, they're actually able to click into the settings cog and choose to read along the page if there's any word that they're not familiar with. This will help them refamiliarize with the words on the page so they don't make any mistakes. While at the same time, they can also enable assistive highlighting and decide the pace for it as well, whether they'd like to try to read the book slower at a more consistent, steady pace, or even at a faster pace as well. So we can close this settings dialog. Now, I'll give you a brief demo of what it looks like to read a book aloud on Simbi. So we'll click on the microphone icon, and it will give me a countdown. Chico was the unhappiest girl among her friends. She was certainly the unhappiest girl in her entire class. Great, so I'll pause it there. Now we're able to listen back to it. Chico was the unhappiest girl among her friends. Great. So if we're happy with that, we can click next and move on to the next page. If we wanted to give it another shot, we can just click this little trash can icon to delete and try again. As your child is ready for more books, we suggest going over to the journey. They can access that by going to the top left and clicking back to their journey up here. As you can see, they've already gained some Simbi stars along the way, which they can further redeem in future for new avatars on the platform. If they're looking for new books, they can always peek at what's next. In this case, it would be A Friend for Little Goat. If they're looking to browse the entire library, they can scroll over to the left-hand side and click on this library button. Within the library, we have thousands of books for all grade levels and interests. We can find some of the top trending books here at the top, and further scroll down to see all of the books that we have on Simbi. Another area to pay particular attention to as your student continues to read on Simbi and use it in their class is the notification bell up in the top right-hand corner. By clicking on it, it expands the sidebar. Currently, we don't have any notifications, but as they are assigned readings by their teacher or are asked to complete different homework assignments, they'll show up here. So you can keep an eye on them and make sure that your child is always on track with where they need to be for their class. Also, as they continue to share their voice on Simbi and read books out loud, narrating the books onto the platform, they'll gain their first weekly impact report. What that is it's not only a notification, but also an email that goes directly to their school inbox and shows just how many learners around the world have benefited and improved their reading skills by listening to your learner's voice. Lastly, if you have any questions along the way, you can scroll on over to the pink chat icon in the bottom right-hand corner and click on it to open it up. We'd be more than happy to help you with any questions you might have along the way, and it's so wonderful to welcome you and our family to our global community of readers, ensuring that the world has a reason to read. Thanks and bye for now.